Today on Film Alliance, are the rumors true? Is what everyone out there is saying true? Is the Sony ZV-E10 just a big pile of junk? Or a hidden gem in this crazy world?
Get on your knees. Came from the jungle, up in the trees. I got a few tricks up in the sleeve. One wrong move, I'ma let out the shoes, check out the crease. Blow like I'm Bigfoot, step on the beat.
So I've had the Sony ZV-E10 for a few weeks now, and I've shot both photography and video with it. I've gone handheld, I've thrown it on a gimbal, I've thrown it on a tripod. I've done talking head type shots with it. I did some macro photography. I've done some cinematic shots and some nature zoom shots, slow motion. And until now, I haven't offered my humble opinion on this camera because I wanted you guys to tell me how you felt about it before I tell you how I feel about it. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and who I think this camera is for. This video is not being sponsored by anyone. I have nothing to gain. I just wanna give my humble opinion to you guys because you guys always offer your valuable opinions in the comment sections. To start off, I want to let you know why I may be or may not be qualified to talk about or give my opinion on this camera, and you can be the judge whether or not you want to listen to me or not. This is my first APS-C camera. I've never had one before. I actually went from an iPhone to the Osmo Pocket to an A7 III, which is a full frame, and then the A7S III and also the ZV-1. So I skipped over that stepping stone that a lot of people seem to go to before they go to full frame, which is the APS-C lineup. So going from the Osmo Pocket to the full frame A7 III was just a huge change in quality for me. It was a huge upgrade and I really liked it. Speaking about liking it, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to join the journey. So I shot a lot with the A7 III and got very comfortable with its capabilities and also started to understand its limitations. I picked up the ZV-1 about a year ago so that it could be a B cam for my A7 III. And by now I'm sure you know, I shot a ton with the ZV-1 and we learned so much as a community through the past year with the ZV-1. I grew probably more than I did in the past year with the ZV-1 than I ever have previously. I became very comfortable with it and I got to see its capabilities and also its limitations. Eventually, I picked up the A7S III and got to enjoy that 4K 60 and also the image quality that it delivers. Through my camera evolution, I have developed an eye for image quality and what these cameras can produce. When I picked up the ZV-E10 a few weeks ago, I didn't even know about the 1.5 times crop factor that APS-C cameras deliver. And thanks to you guys, you helped me understand that when you're in 16 millimeters, you're actually in the equivalent of about 24 millimeters full frame. I do remember hearing somebody talk about that a long time ago when I was shopping for cameras, but I totally forgot about it and just started shooting. That's just to give you an idea of who I am as a person. I didn't even really watch any review videos about the ZV-E10 because I wanted to formulate my own thoughts and my own opinions before I watched somebody else and started to get like maybe a sour taste in my mouth or had over expectations for it. As a side note, I don't claim to be an expert. I'm more of a results type of guy, so I just want to see what the camera can produce. So now you know more about my journey. Maybe that makes me qualified, maybe it doesn't. But my opinion is I absolutely love this camera. I had this cheap $150 lens on the end of my A7 III for one full year, and not one person came up to me after my videos and said to me, oh man, you could really use a new lens. My point is that you guys or the people that are watching this video have completely different standards than the audience of people who are watching the videos that we create for the outside world. Businesses, schools, newlyweds, promotional videos, those audiences don't have the same exact crazy critique eye that you and I have. So we have to put all of that aside when we look at these Sony cameras. So yes, maybe it does have rolling shutter and you can see that jello effect if you're looking for it. But 99.9% of the people who are watching your videos don't see it. Yes, this camera doesn't have good stabilization, but what Sony camera does, the ZV-1 doesn't have very good stabilization, neither does the A7 III or the A7S III. I can't go handheld with any of those cameras without the footage being unusable, unless I throw it through Catalyst, which I don't want to do because that just adds to my workflow. So what I do is I just throw the ZV-E10 on a gimbal, just like I do with my other 3 Sony cameras. It's just part of growing with your camera and learning the things that you need to do in order to get that smooth footage. I mean, these cameras are not action cameras like the DJI Osmo Action or the GoPro, and they're certainly not perfect. Do I wish this thing had 4K 60? Yeah, I do, but I also wish it had 8K, a bigger display, a longer lasting battery, a bigger camera body, but all of these things are things that come with bigger camera bodies and we have to be reasonable with the price point that we're at. For the price point, you can't beat the image quality out of this camera. I love that I can switch lenses with it and be more creative. The battery lasts longer than the ZV-1, and even the photos are crazy good and detailed. Don't get me wrong, I love the ZV-1, but I think the ZV-1 has its special category and the ZV-E10 has its own special category. You can literally just grab the ZV-1 and walk out the door and start shooting and get some really amazing shots. Whereas this camera takes a little bit more of a setup, but the images that you get out of it are just beautiful. So who's this camera for? I think that this camera is for people who like to create cinematic B-roll shots and also for headshots. I don't think this is a vlogging camera. If you're a vlogger, go with the ZV-1. If you're somebody who likes cinematic B-roll, then get the ZV-E10. I think the ideal setup for a vlogger would be to have the ZV-1 to vlog and the ZV-E10 to go get that cinematic B-roll that you can insert into your vlog. When I first picked up this camera, I wasn't 100% sure I was even gonna keep it because I was reading all of those bad comments under the rumor sites saying that this camera is just trash. So I figured if I didn't like it, then I would just return it and pay the restocking fee. I'm not returning it, and I think if you pick up this camera, you probably won't return it either. Maybe I'm wrong. I didn't watch many videos about this camera, especially from the bigger YouTube channels. If you trust my opinion, I'd say go pick one up, see how you like it, and if I'm wrong, then just let me know in the comments. I will absolutely continue to use this camera as I proceed in my filmmaking journey, and I hope you guys want to tag along so that we can grow together. I'm Joe with Film Alliance, and until the next video, peace. I don't think this is a vlogging camera. This is my first ASPC camera. I've had the Sony ZV-E10 for a couple of weeks now, and